Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor, bringing you another video on how to raise your vibration so you can live your best life. We are continuing the conversation around the stages and phases that a conscious, purpose-driven entrepreneur goes through. It can be so helpful to know that there actually is a pattern, there actually is quantifiable strategies that work in each stage and phase of this journey. If you are a conscious, purpose-driven entrepreneur, or you are a seeker who is just starting to wake up, then these videos are for you. So I have done a sort of a general overview video where we cover all of the different stages where you move from the wounded seeker to the unseen seeker. I'm sorry, to the unseen light worker, then to the emerging light worker, then to the shining light worker, and finally landing as a synchronized master. So today's video, we're going to dive deep into the unseen light worker. There are some general timeframes that go with each of these. So if you want to know what those are, do check out the high-level overview video. But for today, we're talking about the unseen light worker. So we have moved through the wounded seeker. We are fully awakened, maybe coming out of that dark night of the soul and stepping into our realization that we are a light worker, that we have purpose. We are made perfectly imperfect for our purpose, and yet we might still be a little bit stuck. In that wounded seeker phase, we are very much alone, and we are always dealing with, or not always, but in that phase, dealing with the belief that we have to do it alone. And this is where in the unseen light worker stage, really need to iron these out, unseen light worker stage, we're starting to wake up to the fact that we cannot do it alone. And in fact, this is something that we don't fully realize until we come out of this stage. It is at the end of this stage where we have seen the evidence of how important connection is. So the unseen light worker stage usually lasts anywhere from 3 to 6 months, and it begins when you finally reach out for help. When you realize that we are made for connection, there are both psychological and physical mechanisms in the body that point to the fact that we cannot survive alone. We are clearly as social beings. We need each other. We are made for connection. And when we are together, we amplify each other, the source energy within us, as well as continue to help each other's gifts grow and heal the wounds and blocks that hold us back. There are wounds and blocks that cannot be seen without the reflection of the other. And so in this stage, we have come to the admission or recognition or acceptance of the fact that we have to have someone to assist us in helping us get out of that wounded seeker phase, move through the unseen light worker phase, and finally reach the emerging light worker phase. So once we come to realize that we need that help and we've reached out for help, we will start to move through this 3 to 6 month phase. Now, prior to stepping into this, or in the early phases, early stages of the unseen light worker phase, this is how you may feel. I'm going to run through a list of some things that you may be feeling or experiencing. Likely you are fed up in general, fed up with the life they told us that would make us happy that is no longer working for us, but also fed up with the seeking and the searching and the feeling like we're always looking for that next thing that's finally going to be the thing that gets us out of this stuck place. We might feel like we are stuck in the hamster wheel of thinking, that hamster wheel that just keeps going and going and going, constantly thinking of yourself and your problems, trying to solve your problems. Sometimes we can become so self-focused as a trauma response because of the conditioning and the programming that has caused us to believe that either we're not enough, the world's not enough, or people are not enough, the world's not safe. Whatever it is, the brain will consistently keep going round and round trying to solve that problem, trying to keep you safe. We really just get fed up. This is one of the biggest hallmarks of this stage is I'm fed up with myself. I'm fed up with my thinking. I'm fed up with being stuck. I'm fed up with seeking and feeling like it's a never-ending search, an unquenchable thirst that I cannot seem to quench. right? We just, in general, we get tired of our own shit, which is actually really necessary for us to get to that place where we're willing to say, fine, I need help. I've got to do something different. They say that change only happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. We get fed up with that hermit mode or that perpetual healing mode, and we are ready to finally do something different. In this stage, we're very much disconnected from our body, not realizing it because we are so in our head, so in our upper chakras. We may even view the body as an adversary, or it's been said, a meat suit. We don't realize the resource of the body. We live in our upper chakras, and that tends to be a very ungrounded state. And we know this when we have those feelings like, I don't belong here, or I want to go home, but we don't really know what home is. We want to escape the 3D, even though we chose to incarnate here. We seem to forget that, and we feel that we're justified in that feeling of wanting to escape or wanting to go home because I'm not from this place. But we forget that we are a light worker, which means we came here for a reason. We came here to do something that matters. And we chose to be here, so that requires grounding in this place. And the beautiful surprises on the other side, when we move through this phase, we discover that life is actually very enjoyable, that it's fun, that we want to be here. But in this phase, we very much have this escape mentality. Things may continue to fall apart. They very much were falling apart in that unseen seeker phase. They continue to fall apart in the unheard or unseen, wounded seeker phase and the unseen light worker phase. I'm going to probably have to redo all of these videos once I perfect the language so we can stop tripping over things. But still, regardless, the content is what matters. So the falling apart is actually things falling into place. The things that no longer serve you are what are falling away, and things are actually, whether it looks like it or not, from a 3D perspective, it doesn't, but from the higher perspective, they are actually falling into place. The other challenge of this stage is that we are continuing to manifest on autopilot. Inadvertently, by accident, we're manifesting inadvertently, I guess is the best word. We don't really understand that we're doing it. We are creators, we are manifesting all the time, but we have not learned to master our manifestation skills or abilities or mechanism that is the body and the mind. And so we feel like, what's wrong with me? Why do bad things keep happening? I'm a good person. I have this deep desire. I've visualized it. I've felt it, and I still can't seem to make this thing happen. There's so much more that goes into the manifestation abilities, and many of those things are inhibited by an unhealed nervous system state, by unhealed trauma, by the blocks, the programming, the wounding, the conditioning that we cannot see because it's hiding in our blind spot. And again, that's why we come to the realization that we have to have that help. We need the mirror of the other to help us see what's hiding in our subconscious, hiding in our blind spots. Right? We continue to overgive. We deeply desire being valuable and doing something that matters in the world. We are seeking our purpose and seeking the fulfillment that comes from being helpful, and yet we're doing it from a place of wounding and overgiving, and we're almost pushy with our desire to help. And of course, that is rejected, and we can't quite understand why people are not accepting of this assistance that we're trying to offer. And again, it leads to that feeling of stuckness and an irritability in that stuckness. I'm tired. I have this thing to offer, and people aren't accepting it, right? And then this finally leads through the frustration to the willingness to accept help. And when we commit to help, that's when this phase really starts. That's when we can move through the 3 to 6 month period of the healing, removing the blocks. Like I say in all of my videos, the only thing that will work for you, or the only style of healing that is going to really move you through this, is somatic healing. I do something called brain spotting. There are other modalities out there, but it requires somatic healing. You have to work with the body. The body keeps the score. Traumas, conditioning, and programming are all basically one and the same. They are programs in your limbic or subconscious brain that are also connected to blocks and trauma in the body. And so you must use some form of somatic healing to make that work, or to get that up and out of your body, right? We still have that deep desire for our autonomy, for our sovereignty, to be our own boss, to be able to live a heart-centered, intuitively led, guided life, but we're not able to start our own business or tap into our purpose because of these blocks that continue to hold us back. We don't realize that we are still hiding. We feel like we're trying to put ourselves out there, but we continue to go unheard, unseen. That's why I call this the unseen light worker, because we feel like we're doing the work, but we don't realize from an energetic standpoint, the conditioning, the programming, the trauma that's still stuck in you is causing you to be hidden or to hide in a way that can be very subversive. The subconscious is pretty sly, just like the ego, that it'll trick you into making you think that I'm putting myself out there, I'm doing the work, I'm trying, and still yet I'm not seen, I'm not heard, I'm not effective. And that's how you know when you are still that unseen light worker and somewhat hiding from a subconscious standpoint. We still very much feel fear, criticism, and attack, judgment, rejection. It doesn't feel safe, truly safe, to put yourself out there and be seen. And so you will know this when you force yourself to put yourself out there, but then the evidence of, see, I'm rejected, see, I'm criticized, shows up. When you have done the healing that allows you to truly be seen and to truly show up, you are able to stand unshakable in the face of someone who might give you the side eye. And you feel it because you're always going to be sensitive, but you will also be at peace with the knowing that that's not your feeling. You'll have this sense of, okay, I know that I just made you uncomfortable, but I'm okay with that. And I can feel your pain, and I understand that you're uncomfortable. It does make me a little bit uncomfortable. It's not as triggering as it used to be, but it also is an indication to me I've shifted my perspective. I've healed enough to know that I'm not responsible for how you're feeling. And in fact, I recognize this as the gift that I have just given you, that I know I triggered you, and I know I'm a catalyst, and I know that's why I'm here. And I'm still going to stand in this place fully confident in who I am and what my value and worth is, because it's not measured by your response. But also I'm going to be the compassionate witness that is necessary to stand in the face of this discomfort as you move through it. And I'll be here with you if you'd like my help. Let me know. And there becomes such a firm foundation in you that you cannot be shaken in those moments. And when you still feel so triggered that you have to fix it for them, you know you're still in this phase. When you move into the next phase, that's when you know that you have moved through that and you are really the emerging light worker. Right? In this phase, in the unseen light worker, we can continue to struggle with that strong inner critic, the one who questions, who am I to do this thing? Or what's wrong with me? Or why did I make them so uncomfortable? That questioning of, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. The beating yourself up, the toxic self-blame. We often question, what do I have to offer? Maybe I'm the one that doesn't actually have a purpose or a gift. What benefit am I to others? How did I really help them? And so as long as you have that trauma voice or that inner critic that's continuing to dominate your thoughts, you'll still remain in this unseen light worker phase. We often are, and unfortunately, still disconnected from our joy, disconnected from our passion and our purpose, and doubting if it's even possible for us in this phase. We very much still fear moving out of the corporate world, moving out of the debt slavery system, but we're starting to, especially as you near the end of this 6-month phase, you're starting to see the possibilities. You're starting to see it's going to be okay. I am taken care of, and I will be provided for. And I am here because God, source, divine, creator, universe made me perfectly imperfect for my purpose. And because of that, once I step into it, I will be fully cared for. And that is sort of the end and the transition into the emerging light worker stage. Okay, and I'm going to save that one for another video because these would just get too long. But I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you're starting to see where you are at in this process. And again, know that brain spotting, whether it's with me or someone else, or EMDR or somatic therapies of other natures, they can help you move through this. But without that somatic work, you likely will stay stuck in that wounded seeker or the unseen light worker phase. If you need any help in this, obviously, I'm here for brain spotting and healing sessions. I also offer a course, and we have a community. So depending on how you like to move through this, please do reach out. I offer free 30-minute sessions. We can talk about what's right for you and how to best move through this. But you are here. You have made it to the end of this video because you are a conscious, purpose-driven entrepreneur. You know you are called to do something great in the world. And I am here to help you do that. We will help you heal the blocks that hold you back, identify your purpose, learn how to manifest with intention, as well as how to make a living doing it, whether it's a physical, tangible product or an online product. I've got more than 20 years in the industry of both, so I would be happy to help you step into that and move through the beautiful stages that will lead you to the Synchronized Master and realizing the dreams that were put on your heart by the divine. Please do make sure you like, subscribe, and share to help grow this YouTube channel, and share this video if there's anybody that you know that could benefit from it, or maybe help them move through their blocks so they can step into their purpose. With that, I will close. I love you so much, my friends. I will see you on the next video. Sending so much love and blessings. Namaste.